if I go to the grocery store and buy milk and there's already milk here, you consider that financial mismanagement?
Yeah, you know, I just bought milk. You bought milk, so that's a lot of milk. If we don't need that much milk right now, let's not do it. We have no system. We
It
have no
sounds like to me
grocery.
you're crying over spilled milk. Okay, go ahead.
So just grab a hold of my hand and do it till the morning light.
After I do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, back once again. Another episode of After I Do.
Hi.
We're back. It's always exciting to see you all again. It's your man Royale Watkins, Chocolate Girl Wonder, and today we're talking about finances. We're talking about more specifically the banking of it all. You know, I think the question is, should married couples have their own separate bank accounts?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I know April and I have separate accounts, mostly because I have a production entity. But we also have a shared account as well. So I was going to say the real question, but I think one of the questions is, what's the purpose of a shared account, and what's the purpose of having separate accounts?
Ooh, that's always been a tricky one for me. Even when we got married, no one advised me. There was no one to talk to. I don't even know why I didn't ask my grandmother because she was alive. But we moved in together. We became one. And I think in the beginning, because I wasn't working, everything just kind of went into a joint account. I paid the bills, he put the money in, whatever. But once I started working and with direct deposit and stuff like that, I chose to do direct deposit so I don't have to worry about where my money goes or if I have to go pick up a check because my job, is fickle. Um, so I have my own
Your
account.
job is fickle. What does that mean?
That means like I could work on Bold and the Beautiful today, and then 2 days from now I could be on Young and the Restless, and then Friday I could be on All American. So therefore, for that week, I'll have 3 checks. And with that said, I don't want to go to each production company, go to the supervisor, and pick up my check. But if I have direct deposit, I never have to leave my home. I don't have to chase them down. I don't care when I get the stub because I already know that I've set it up with my credit union and they only use 2 to 3 payrolls and I'm set up with all of them. So if it's in whatever cast and crew, my money goes there. So that's why I say fickle because but senior costumer told me about that. She was like, sign up for direct deposit and you never have to chase your check. So I have direct deposit for that. And it seems to be working, but then there's sometimes we'll run up against a big bill or something we want to do together. And that's where the confusion happens. He doesn't know how much I have. I don't know how much he has. And our joint account is like on zero because we're not putting money in there to do any particular thing. So what happens is Royale pays the mortgage. I pay the car payment. I pay the car insurance. And then we want a new roof. How much money do you have saved? How much money do you have saved? So that transparency is not
Or
there.
lack thereof.
Yeah, lack thereof is not there. And then at times I feel a little uncomfortable because yes, I know what's in mine and he's aware of what he has in his, but what do we have collectively? And I think we still don't have a good plan on what to do. Even if I get direct deposit into my account, maybe we should put 70% of that into the joint account to pay all bills and leaving 30% for the miscellaneous. I have to go to the grocery store. I have a flat tire. I have to pay my union dues or whatever. But we have to think of a plan because right now we have no plan.
We're winging it financially.
We are, and I don't think it's the best way to be, but
Winging it is a plan.
is it?
Yeah, I was just going to say about direct deposit. I don't know. There's something about me. I just like getting my check. I'm so old school. I like the feel of a paper check. It's time consuming. I like going to the bank and filling out a deposit slip and putting the check in my account. It's weird, but I also know that all of this new banking, some of it can be convenient. I mean, I gotta say, look, if you can sit in the comfort of your home and take a picture of a check, and now electronically that digital image is now scanned into what is financial currency,
Right.
and you never have to leave the comfort of your home, right? That's an amazing thing. We didn't have that years ago, right?
Unheard of.
But I also know that as a function of that, you lose the personal touch that you're used to getting in the banking system, which is you develop a relationship with the bank, with a teller.
Right.
All of those things matter. I went recently to the bank, and the machine that you put checks in, it says you can put up to 30 checks in it. I think I put 11 or 12 checks in at a time, and they got stuck in the machine.
See?
And now, if I was one of those people who needed access to that capital on the day of or the day after, guess what? I'd be screwed, because now that was last Wednesday.
Yep.
So now 5 days later, I still don't have access to that $17. No, it was a lot more than $17. But none of that money has registered to my account. I had
That's
to go through a
crazy.
whole process with the bank of them doing an investigation. The checks were cleared. The person came, cleared it, but now it's just a mess.
And that was the machine inside the
That was
bank.
the machine inside the bank. These
They-
machines have replaced tellers. That's the thing with tellers. Yeah, I'll say this also about this is an interesting thing is that it's a dual-edged sword, right? Because when you have wealth, right, they give you all of this personal service at the bank. They greet you by your name. They got coffee for you, back rub, everything, right? I was going to say hand job,
I
and I was
heard-
like,
I saw
why?
the-
Why
I was
would
like,
they don't give out hand jobs
no.
at the bank? That's another place. But here's the thing. When you don't have wealth, right, you get treated just like, like a bum on the street. And so, one of the things that annoys me is when you go into a bank and the teller's there and they don't look up to acknowledge you to say, I'm going to be right with you or anything. It's
Right.
and that this to me is beyond banks, but I noticed it happened recently at the bank for me personally. I'm standing in line. There's a teller helping one person. I'm the next person in line. The teller at the window and the other teller is there free, and she's busy doing something other than helping me. Now, to me, all it takes is to just look up and acknowledge me in the line saying, give me a minute, I'll be with you. But they do this thing where they pretend like they're busy, and then when they decide that little stupid window closed little bar thing, when they want to, it's like, oh my God, okay. This is why I don't like engaging people. And in that moment, I'm like, you know what? Maybe less human beings is a good thing. But then I just think about the fact that we're losing so many jobs to these machines, and the machines aren't exact. When you gotta go to the grocery store and you're dealing with a machine. You go to the gas station dealing with a machine. It's like, at what point do we have human interaction anymore?
Yeah, that's the sad part about banking. Um, yeah, I don't know. I love, for me, and I understand, I do like the paper check, but in my field, and I think most costumers will agree, I think probably if I had to guess 70% of people, we just go ahead and do direct deposit, because we can work 5 different places in 5 days of the week, and that's just not fun trying to make sure the manager, and I've seen supervisors with checks on their desk. Oh yeah, I meant to mail that out for so and so and so and so. We get paid on Thursday. It's Tuesday. They still haven't mailed it out.
That's
Not me.
rude.
Not me. Because they forget. They get overwhelmed because they literally have to put a stamp on it. They got to take it to the front office. They got to mail it. It's way too much. And I, like Royale said, I need my money when I need it. And back to the banking system, I have a credit union now, and we don't have that machine in the bank. It's outside. But when I was with Chase, it could be 3 people online with one teller. So they're trying to do one teller, and they got this big machine, and it's like, whoa, like they're trying. You can use the machine. You can use the machine. And I refuse to use the machine. I'm like, no, if I came inside, that means I want to go to a teller. I can use the same machine outside. So the fact that Royale, because of whatever reason, they probably coaxed them into it. Just use the machine. It's available. And then it eats up or jams some of his checks. And now it's the waiting game when you could have just waited. You know what I mean? But they pressure you into it. And I just, for
You
me,
know,
that just doesn't work.
so here's the thing. I'm glad we're talking about money because I'm always curious to know how you handle when you're in a situation where you lend your spouse money, right? When you're in
Is
a
that a thing?
marriage, this is an interesting thing. Is like
Lend?
when you are both working, and right, let's say you want something. It could be a gazebo. You could want a bicycle,
I
or you
do
could
want
be
a
out.
bike.
We've been in a situation where we've been out, and you've asked me to lend you money, and then we get into this weird space where you don't give the money back. And so now you have to have a conversation with your spouse about getting money back that you lent them. And, I know in the past you've been like, what? Right? But no, that's right. You owe money to the person that you're married to, creates this weird space where can you ask for the money back or not?
Yeah, that's interesting because
Like, I'll use this for example. When just for Father's Day with the golf, you guys said you were treating me and
I
a
have the
friend to
money for you.
golf,
Right.
and I still haven't gotten that money back yet.
I will reimburse you. That was a faux pas. That wasn't a lend. But that's the thing when there's no transparency and you don't know what's going on. I'll use the
How does
word
that
lend
have to do with transparency?
because if you're saying, can I lend you some money versus the money being in a joint account, I could say, hey, babe, I'm going to take $130 and go get the gazebo because it's in our joint account versus I don't have any money and I feel some sort of
Or
way.
not even low. You say, let me hold, right? So let's like, it's the same thing, but we'll be out. You don't have money that you want to do something with. And he's like, you got $200 on you, whatever. Yeah, I got money with you. Can you
Yeah,
cash
but
at me 200? I'll give it back.
Yeah.
So we get into that space where you say, send me some money for something. And we're both employed, right? So it's not like we're a single income house. You have access to money, right? How you spend the money that doesn't go towards your portion of the bills is your business.
Exactly.
But sometimes we're out and you say, I don't have any money on you. Can you cash at me? Or you'll be away doing something. You say, can you cash at me some money? And then it's like, okay, but how am I getting this money back? How does
Yeah,
this work?
that's weird because I get it. If it's something personal, babe, I'm getting my hair done. Can you cash at me $150? Versus, hey, babe, I'm at the grocery store. I need $150 for groceries. So you're right. And if I ask you, I'll be
I
cognizant.
legit tell you up to about $2,300
I
right
am
now in
not.
money that you spend. I'm telling you, I keep track.
That is
Legit,
a
legit
lie.
up to about $2,300.
No. Well, I
Okay,
will.
that's what I'm talking about.
I
So you
owe
don't remember.
you forever.
Okay.
Well, I don't think I let that much money sit around.
Is it possible to lend your spouse money in a marriage? Is there such a thing? Right. Julia says no. You're just throwing money into a black hole, and you should never expect to see that money back. Is that what the situation is? Okay, well, good. I'll learn to say no moving forward. Can you tell your spouse no when they ask you
Well,
for
if
money?
and there goes another thing. My money's your money, and your money's my money.
Is
So
that a thing
that
in
is a
marriage?
thing.
Is all money the house money in a marriage? Should you set money aside in a marriage
I just think that every couple
for
should.
personal for like
Yeah,
for
you should get 10%. Whatever. I think each person or each couple should come up with their own rules, and that's the problem. We have a lot of gray areas. We did not come up with rules, but moving forward, I'll love to sit down with
rules
you
that apply to what?
to how we handle money. So if all money comes in, no matter what, we put it in one big kitty. You take some out. Say, hey, I got my hair done. Okay,
I
so
don't like that one.
okay, then
make
we'll
sense
be
to me.
lending and borrowing money. I don't know. I don't have any rhyme or reason for it, but what I do know that because there is no system, money is mismanaged. Absolutely. Things that we should be working towards, we have no system. There's no account for it.
When you say mismanaged, can you point to something specifically?
You'll buy groceries, I buy groceries. We're buying the same groceries. We're not on the same page with even buying groceries. We're not on the same page with, a lot of things.
So you saying If I go to the grocery store and buy milk and there's already milk here, you consider that financial mismanagement?
Yeah, you know, I just bought milk, you bought milk, so that's a lot of milk. If we don't need that much milk right now, let's not do it. We have no system, we
It
have no
sounds like to me
grocery.
you're crying over spilled milk. Okay, go ahead.
It's so corny. Um, there's just no system in place, and we need a new roof right now. I have money in my account, he has money in his account. What's the plan on getting the new roof?
I can tell you I don't have new roof money.
There's no plan, but if we start saving for the roof in 6 months, you're saying that now, we may have half of it to put down. Like, there's no, and I feel like I am the only one in charge of those things, and it becomes frustrating. It's like pulling teeth, or you see what needs to, but how come you don't think we need a new roof, and what is your plan to get the roof? It's always, we don't have the money. Okay, so we don't have the money. What's the plan to get the money? You got to get your car fixed. What's the plan on getting the car fixed? My car needs to be fixed. What's the plan? There's never any plan. It's just winging, winging, winging.
I think the plan
And-
is go get it done when you can afford to get it done. That's a plan.
Yeah, but how? In what account?
How what? My money is in my account to get my car fixed.
And where's the money for the roof to get fixed?
Well, how do you go from? We just had the conversation about the roof. You just went to the car. To my car.
I gave different examples. So yes, you have money for your car, and that's where the gray area, again, it sounds very selfish. I got money for my car, and I got money for this, and
That's
it's
not
because of
selfish
me.
at all.
It sounds like it. What I'm saying, it just sounds like it, because you'll invest in your car, but the bigger items that need to be done in the
Don't
house.
you think that if I had the money for the roof, I would invest in the roof? The
Yes.
car is a much smaller ticketed item to get fixed.
I get
So how's
that.
that selfish?
Because you never bring it up, you never say, hey,
Because I
moving
don't have the
forward-
money. Why am I gonna bring it up if I don't have the money? What I'm gonna do is focus on getting the money. That's what my focus is: getting the money. Why am I
But
bringing it
why
up rather
isn't
than
there
put
a
my?
plan, like when you get
I have a
11
plan.
checks?
I have a plan.
200 should go into the roof fund.
Okay.
When I get money, 200 should go in there. So we're constantly building. So if a big check doesn't come, or, I don't like living big check to big check. Oh, we got to wait for the big check to do the big thing. Not if we're constantly doing the little things that in 6, 7 months we have it and we didn't. So when the big check come, we could spend that on something else. Or we could just subtract what we have and take from the big check. Like, there needs to be a system. And I just think we come from two different worlds.
No,
And
this clearly we come
I
from two different
see,
worlds.
As
You need
quarantine-
structure, and I like to live freely, and like figure it out as I go.
Yeah, that doesn't work for me.
Yeah, I mean,
It's just it's not. That's why we are where we are. There's no savings.
And where are
To be
we?
honest, there's no savings. There's no nothing. There's no planning. You have to plan. I just don't come from that world. You want a vacation, you plan for it. I try and pay for our vacation by January, February. That's why our vacation was paid for. Still waiting for a refund, but you have to plan, because the big check may never come. But if I'm slowly chipping away at it, hey, it didn't come, but guess what? It's paid in full because I took the initiative to do it 12 months out and just pay for it and pay for it and pay for it.
okay,
That's
so
all
that's
I'm saying.
working, right? That's
Yeah,
working
it's
for you.
working, but I don't want to have to drag you along. I want you to be able to say, hey,
You're not
what's
dragging me
the
along.
plan?
You're doing your version of the thing that works.
What's the plan? And I'd like to, can I put some input in it? Would you consider doing it this way? Is there another way? Or I know I have this job and I know we need the roof, so don't worry about it. When this comes in, we'll get it. Or, just something more definitive than when we get the money, we'll get it, versus, hey, this is coming in July. Maybe we could go ahead and take half of that and put on the roof and do, whatever. That would make me feel better than nothing being said about it. It's just never anything said about it. And I think it's because he has his account, I have my account, there's no joint account, there's no structure.
That's not the reason that you think account separation is why nothing is said about it.
I do.
So you're saying if, first of all, we have a joint account.
Nothing's in it.
There's something in it.
Okay.
There's something in it.
Yeah, I just, you're fighting me, but we need structure, and you always fight structure. And this is a good subject because we're always going to be at this point, and I don't want to be 80 years old and not have any structure. Structure, it's just structure. I'd like to know where things are. That's why people, you're a producer, they're line items for a reason. Let's, if this, a marriage is a business, let's treat it like a business. What's the line item? When
I
this
don't think
money
you want
comes
to
in?
treat marriage like a business. That's not a good concept.
Well, some aspects. You don't have to treat the whole marriage, but the financial, there's nothing wrong with having an accounting system, an accounts payable system to help run that portion of the marriage. Because without it, we
I
don't
think the
know.
challenge with that is that we don't live a 9 to 5 structured lifestyle, right? You work when you work, I work when I work. The money comes in these waves of whatever you want to call them, and so right, trying to piece that together and make it work for a structured 9 to 5. Oh, we get paid every 2 weeks. There's this much coming in that we can count on. We know what the bills are and everything. Right? That's a more 9 to 5. We don't have that. So, all right, I'm open to us having a conversation about how we try to create our version of that under the circumstances of us getting paid whenever the money comes in. We live a whenever the money comes in lifestyle.
Yeah, but
So
with that said, that would make you even want more structure because our finances are unstructured. So we have to figure out in this crazy world of Hollywood, we are one of many. Just anybody in the industry is living the same way. You don't Actors right now are not getting paid. They're not working. They're living off of residuals. So what is the plan in that consultant slash self-employment world that we can figure out to make work, you know? And just be diligent with it. Even though we're not working 9 to 5, we get residuals. I get some money coming in. You know, we just have to do better because I don't want to look up and have an emergency and you have $500 in your account and I have whatever in my 1,000, and we're thinking, oh, he's got enough to cover it. Oh, she's got enough to cover it, and we find out neither one of us have enough to cover it.
just have to do a GoFundMe.
So yeah,
Just have to get real ghetto with it. It'd be out there like one of them fake funeral signs.
that's crazy.
Lying
No.
to the public saying
So
we have to
that's it.
bury a
It'll
loved
be
one. Need your
very
help.
interesting to get the feedback. And if anyone could give us any consulting, I'm more than happy to listen because we need a little bit more structure when it comes to the finances. And just be willing and open to hear what you're saying, or you be open to hearing what I have to say and come up with some type of system. We need something.
I'm open to it all. I will say that. I'm open. You show me a solution for something that we're lacking in, and I'm going to be completely open to jumping in and making that portion of it work for us. Um, yeah, but I'm curious to know if you all have joint bank accounts. Does all the money go into one pot? How are you all out there living?
Yes.
Again, I know for business purposes, I have to keep a separate. I can't commingle the money. I've done that before. It does not work. For accounting purposes, I know if I don't touch none of the money, and I have a separate credit card that is a production credit card. So anything that's spent on the production, run that credit card. So when I go back and I look at it, I try to make sure everybody that's working for me gets paid first. And that way, any of the money that's left over is mine. So if anything comes up short, it is on me because it's my responsibility as an executive producer and
Right.
showrunner and all that stuff to make sure the money is right. But it's the reason why I hire a line producer too. They supposed to manage the money. You pay them to do the job, and then they have to be accountable, and they got to show you where they spent the money. But these credit cards, all this electronic banking make all this stuff a lot easier these days, right? It should be. Them old days of save your receipts and put them in
Oh,
a
thank
shoebox
God.
and then do the taxes, and then you scrambling through stuff and trying to faded ass tax. All of that is no.
Just get your printout for the year.
Get a printout for the year. Get QuickBooks. I'm gonna start looking into that again because if it's on that credit card, then you should be able to pull it up as one item. And now QuickBooks and some of the software just puts it all into the categories it's supposed to go to. Turn it over to your business manager, pay your taxes, stay out of jail.
That sounds good to me. I don't want to go to jail.
No, I'm sure I don't want you to go to jail
Sure you do.
for like a month. If you went, you got locked up for like a month and a half. Then we quiet around here, and we come pick
See, that's
you
the
up.
problem. What do you mean
It's
quiet
like-
we here?
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking
Okay,
about.
we
Whole
gonna
nother
wrap up this
subject.
episode, but we'll talk about that in another episode. We're talking about banking on this one and the money. How are you all managing your money? Any tips or suggestions that you have, we're completely open.
Yes.
How are you managing your credit, which is another part of the conversation, would because my credit is raggedy. Are you paying money? Are you paying a service to have your credit restored and fixed?
Ooh, that's a whole
What's
nother
the value
podcast.
of that?
That's
But
a
it's a
whole-
part of this conversation,
Yeah.
so maybe somebody has some solutions we're unaware of. So, but feel free to leave it. So we'll continue to have this conversation because me and April clearly aren't on the same page, but we are going to get on the same page. All right, we're wrapping up this episode. And anything else you want to add to it?
That's it.
I will see y'all another episode after I do the podcast.
Bye.
All right, we out.